They only use you, Musk suspends Bouzy's work on Twitter for waking him from Sussexes' manipulation plot. Bot Sentinel, a Twitter analytics service which revealed how Meghan and Harry have been targeted in a coordinated hate campaign, has been suspended. Founded in 2018 by Christopher Bouzy, Bot Sentinel famously exposed a coordinated Twitter campaign against Harry and Meghan in January of last year. While reasons for the suspension were not immediately known, the move has been linked to Elon Musk's latest decision to apply some restrictions. A spokesperson claimed that Musk was attempting to rouse Bouzy from the Sussexes' plan to control and use him in order to use him as a pawn to gain access to Hollywood. The Megans of this world are a genius at manipulation. This is why their victims are hooked. They can supersede any observations you may have about them. That's the gift of the narcissist. Interesting how this does not translate to professional acting, the talents of the narcissist. According to Bot Sentinel, reports on the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, the initial fewer than 100 single-purpose hate accounts, were responsible for approximately 70% of the original and derivative hate-filled content targeting Harry and Meghan. The report said single-purpose hate accounts strategically targeted and interacted with specific journalists and royal commentators to amplify their conspiracy theories and increase their exposure, saying, "We concluded that 9 out of the 10 prominent Twitter accounts that primarily cover the royal family, in fact, had interacted with at least one of the 84 hate accounts that we were monitoring. On at least one occasion, we could link a conspiracy theory shared by a single-purpose hate account to an award-winning journalist and author who then amplified the conspiracy theory on Twitter and on TV." While the couple's critics have celebrated the suspension of Bot Sentinel, Meghan and Harry supporters think that Twitter's decision might have something to do with the royal couple. Christopher Bouzy and his service have been criticized by the supporters of the British royal family for exposing Twitter accounts targeting the couple before. Meanwhile, a source comments come after the pair were dumped from their $20 million Spotify deal last month, which meant that Meghan's Architects podcast was cancelled after just 12 episodes. The couple still have a solid deal with Netflix and reportedly planned their next project for the streaming giant, and that'll apparently be a scripted series called Bad Manners based off of Charles Dickens' Great Expectations novel. The Sussexes' contract with Netflix runs until 2025, with Harry also set to release a documentary series this summer about the Invictus Games that he founded in 2014. The Duke is also said to be following in his late mother, Princess Diana's footsteps, as he pitched a travel documentary that he plans to film by himself in Africa to producers. However, despite their abundance of ideas, Judita De Silva believes that the couple are not cut out for the brutal world of Hollywood, where officials are interested in people's beliefs, but rather how much money it will make them. She said that people want a return on their investment. Appearing on GB News Saturday Morning Live alongside Esther and Philip, she explained, quote, "They've never been the level of fame that they were thrust into, and they were ill-equipped to deal with it and make the right decisions to propel it in a positive direction. When it came to business of what they did, when people were throwing millions at him, his response was, yes, yes, yes. He had to make a lot of money quickly to sustain himself and sustain his family. But once you say yes, people want to return on their investment. You were ill-equipped to deliver in this kind of field you've said yes to. Spotify did not sign you because they care about the righteous productions you wanted to make. They signed you because you're an electrifying brand and you're clickbait. In the podcast world, when there's a scandal, what do? You take it to the podcast, you talk about it there because it's you and your listeners. So Spotify's thinking these guys have scandal after scandal. They're salivating that when the next one comes, they'll bring it to a Spotify platform. And they never did that. So Spotify's thinking, I'm going to pay you $20 million and I don't get the feed from the trough? All this attention-generating stuff you do, and attention is the most valuable collateral in the business today. She also reiterated how brutal Hollywood is and advised that the couple will need to be willing to offer more than they have so far in order to retain their million-pound contracts. Her comments come after a top Hollywood agent, Jeremy Zimmer, branded Meghan as talentless at a Cannes Lion Film Festival last month. Ms. De Silva said, "Harry's going to have conversations where they don't care what you believe in. They care what they can get out of you. What's sexy about what you're offering me? What's going to make people watch it?" Harry now has the conversations where they say, "We don't care about Africa and your ambitions. How do you make me money?" He's not used to having to answer those questions or being answerable to people in that way, so he's having a baptism of fire.